Hey everyone, welcome to Love Story. I am so excited to share with you somebody very, very near and dear to my heart. As you know,
Hey everyone,
my name
welcome
is
to Love
Yandia,
Story.
and we have a bit of an echo. Hold on, little feedback. Okay, think we should be good now. So as I was saying, someone very near and dear to my heart, very special, wonderful, a sister, a friend, a long time, how do you say, cosmic explorer. So, sis, without any further ado, please um, introduce yourself. I'm going to check the chat every now and then just to see, if anyone is telling us about our volume or anything. Okay, someone said we're sounding good. Perfect.
Wonderful, wonderful. Can you
Yes.
hear me? How am I sounding?
Yes,
A
you're
one, two, a one, two.
yes, give it. I love it. Oh, yes. Greetings. We have Dwayne in the chat. We have Marianne in the chat. Hello, family. Nice to have you in. I know you know Dwayne. You've met Dwayne before. Dwayne is family. Yes.
Listen, long time. It was so good to know that he's there. I'm so looking forward to reading his book, his new book.
Yeah, yes,
Yes.
yes. And then Marianne is in the chat. I guarantee you'll get to meet her at some point, especially if you come out to any of the retreats.
Yes.
Yes, and Dwayne says you're sounding good. You're sounding good.
Wonderful.
Okay, good, good. So I'm going to be multitasking, right? Looking at the chat to see if there's any questions, any comments, but feel free to go on and share. And, it's 2025 and Love Story is expanding a bit more to not just speaking so much directly about love in a certain capacity, but realizing that love is life, love is light, love is truth. So I usually would say, tell me how love has rescued you out of the darkness, right? And sometimes I feel like it gears people towards just talking about, a dark time in their life where obviously love helped them to overcome it. But in actuality, love is light and truth and life. So I want to open up the platform for us to just talk about life, for us to talk
Mm.
about our truth, what we've come to know, to that experiential knowledge. I want this platform to be one where people can tune in to something real, something authentic, to hear other human beings speak and be empowered by our own life stories. So it's love story,
Mm.
it's life story, it's light story, it's our story, right? So feel free, sis, to just let spirit lead and just share whatever's on your heart to share today. I know that whatever you do decide to share, it's going to be wonderful and it is going to be a blessing to those who tune in. Once again, I call her Donna-Lee, sister. Please let them know a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, and thank you so much for that introduction. And thank you for having me
Of
on Love
course,
Story 2025. I'm feeling the
2020.
vibe. And if I am not mistaken, love actually adds up to the number nine, right?
Mm,
And we are in the year
numerology.
2025,
Number nine. That's
which is
right.
a nine frequency.
That's
So
right.
how beautiful to
Perfect.
connect with you at this time at the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so this is a big one for me. When
Mm-hmm.
you talk about the light and how has love saved you from the dark? I know that in life it's all about duality.
Yes.
And it's interesting that I'm on the show to talk about this because it is the main theme of my work, is
Uh-huh.
really sitting in that space of duality.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm a different, first of all, for all of you who don't know me, I'm a visual
Yes.
artist. I am a
Yes.
painter, sculptor, photographer. One of my paintings is in the back here.
Yes.
Um, I work in a variety of different mediums. The one in the back is acrylic. pastel,
Mm,
buttons, and mirrors.
wow.
Okay, it's called Merkaba,
Merc.
and it represents an eclipse,
Mm.
a total eclipse. So basically, you've got the side on here with the yellows and the oranges and the reds, and that represents the sun. And then you have the representation of the moon. Now, as the artist, what was happening for me across the last, I would say, 20 years, is I was creating a number of pieces of work that sort of celebrated this duality. A lot of them were represented with mirrors and buttons, and most importantly, you can probably see here the circle.
Mhm.
So for me, it was to figure out what is the message in all of these creations that I'm making, and I'm leading up to something here so you understand the type of artist that I am. I realized that I wasn't, painting landscapes, Yandia, or my background is life portraits and nudes, but I wasn't really moving in that direction. I knew that there was a deeper message being shared with me,
Mhm.
and I wasn't really too sure in its fullness of what it was, but I could feel that I was being communicated to. Now, at
Mhm.
the time when all these feelings were coming out, I really wasn't understanding my higher consciousness, my
Mhm.
subconscious mind, and my consciousness.
Yeah.
So I didn't have the language for that
Mhm.
yet. Okay. So subsequently, the last 20 years have really been me diving into understanding that duality of life and that beautiful higher voice that
Yeah.
speaks to you,
Yeah.
and that light that comes through you,
Yes.
um, to assist you to create beautiful creations
Mhm.
like this. So I would have to sit and ask, well, why did I put the mirrors in there? Okay, well, what are mirrors all about? Mirrors
Yeah.
are all about reflection,
Sure.
right? I can see my image in it. So I would take all these things very seriously and then start doing research on what does the mirror mean? What could that really be all about? This
Yeah.
is where I started to understand the language of higher self, and then this led me to, spiritual videos on YouTube and all of these things. So I realize now that I'm really into this duality, and where's all of that coming from? What's going on with me on the inside,
Mhm.
right? And why am I so compelled to
Mhm.
create a interpretation of it on the outside,
Yes.
right? And then I was also looking at what times in my life where I was I creating these creations. And
Mm.
indeed, it always seemed to be around some sort of challenge,
Wow. Wow.
some 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 change in my life, something that I had to deal with. And when it started to make me vibrate, the first thing that I would go to is some clay. If
Yeah.
it called for clay, if it was a painting and I had enough time for the meditation to do it on a canvas, I'd do it on a canvas. It was just a pen on a napkin. Like,
That's right.
I
That's
realized that my passion,
mm,
um, as an artist, to create and express myself was coming out in this way.
yeah.
Now I had to understand the challenge side. Why do I always run to this
Yes.
to calm myself? Why is this always that place of calm?
Yes.
So when we speak of this, sis, from this word of love,
Mhm.
I've come to realize that love for me
Mhm.
is walking in the authenticity
I love it.
of my passion with purpose,
Ooh. Mm.
right?
Say that again. Say that again.
Is love for me is walking in the
Walking.
authenticity
Mhm.
of my passion
Oof, with purpose.
with purpose. And I
Mhm.
can even throw and intention,
Yes.
because I
Yes.
was always seeking something in those moments,
Mm-hmm.
a moment of change or, trauma, or that was the place that I went
Mm-hmm.
to find the quiet,
Mm-hmm.
to hear silent whispers
Yes.
of soothing or guiding, you know
Yes.
what I'm saying?
I know what you're
Based
saying.
on decisions that I would make. I
Mm-hmm.
knew that I was leading, but those places assisted me with confirmation and
Mm-hmm.
calm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that is truly where I found my love. It is my love language. Can
Yes.
I say that? My love language.
Yeah. And do you feel like your soul, your higher self, is the higher self, is using art to love you, to help you bring that love then into the world?
Absolutely.
Yes. Yes.
My artwork has raised me.
Mm-hmm.
It
Talk about
has,
that. Talk about, see, talk a little bit about that. If you can think of an example, if you could, when you say my artwork has raised me, what do you mean by that? What?
it's challenged me in this journey, but
Mm-hmm.
it's challenged me in the most safe and loving way,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I now I now understand, and I'll be quite honest, I've only really come into the full knowing of this as of last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, um, and it's a very beautiful and proud place to be, in
Mm-hmm.
the sense that I've been asking for a very long time for certain questions, sort of seeking myself,
Yes. Yes.
right?
Yes.
Um, as you know, I'm an adopted child,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the last few years, I guess from 2020 to 2024, there's been a lot of loss in my life. Okay. Right?
That literally tells us that you had some things you can't say, you gotta just sing it out.
Honest, and that's truly how it comes out. And it comes out that way because there's so much there's so much
Yeah.
love.
Yeah.
There's so much love in it, and I have learned so much
Yeah.
from it. And it really is my art that has kept me grounded
Yes.
in it, right? As we know, 2020 with COVID was really a moment of pause for everybody on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it was a beautiful place for me because I'm an artist. I'm constantly going in. I
Yeah.
live in
Yeah.
there, right? In that abyss. I find quite a comfort in there.
Yep.
Um, but in that 2020, um, having to work from home and all of those things that happened, really giving me more time for my own sovereignty. It was a beautiful place to be when it came to my artwork and its unfolding.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, a lot of new ideas, new opportunities in my creation. Um, I started designing curriculum for youth. I started mentoring youth online. And what I realized is I was sharing my own stories, my own love stories,
Your
right?
own word,
Which
yes.
you're asking me about, to assist them,
Yes.
um, to understand who it is that they are on that path to becoming,
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Call me fortunate to have a passion such as the creation of art
Yeah.
to assist myself in the unfolding
Yeah.
and the becoming.
Yes. So
Okay.
yeah.
So, let's start with 2020. I'm working on a number of pieces. Yeah, and you have one of the star seeds.
I was looking, I wanted to have it, but it's in my other, it's in the other location. So I was like,
Yes.
oh my gosh. Yeah.
So the seeds of intention,
Yes.
right? So how am I growing
Mm,
and nurturing the garden within the fertile soil of
yeah,
my subconscious mind,
that's right.
right? This is
Mhm.
what these seeds are all about.
Yes.
So I started creating, I photocopied a whole bunch of the seeds and I started cutting them out and using ancient African designs, signs, and symbols. I have a love for symbols and their meaning, um, to create these patterns on the wall.
Hmm.
And I chose the Nyagami, which is the omnipresence of God, to assist with grounding me within my home. I
Yes.
see my home, my entire home, as an altar. You
Yes.
know,
Yes.
we should really, things that we've placed strategically around our home, we've placed them there for a
For a
reason.
reason. Yeah.
So this was a meditation wall
Yeah.
for me, is understanding that regardless of what's going on here
Mm-hmm.
with this pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
I am safe and I am taken care of in
Mm-hmm.
this space. And I created this from the top of the ceiling down to the bottom with these seeds of
Mm-hmm.
intention.
Yes.
Okay. So it's made up of, I don't know, 500 and something different seeds of intention.
Yeah.
But just the process of putting these seeds of intention on the wall and thinking about redesigning myself as an artist. We're
Yes.
not in the galleries anymore.
No.
What are you going to do? So, so you asked me, how does that artwork work for me?
Aids. Yes.
That's what I
Mm-hmm.
did. That was my
Mm-hmm.
meditation.
Mm-hmm.
That was me taking those seeds and placing them on the wall and knowing that I'm covered by the Most High,
That's right. That's.
right? So, Most High source, whatever you want to call it. I know that me living in this avatar body,
Mm-hmm.
right? That energy that is inside of me is uh uh what can I say? A God spark,
Yeah. Yeah.
that spark of light
That's right.
that does shine through me,
That's right.
right?
That's right.
In its uniqueness and its authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
Now these seeds of intention, I'm using numerology,
Mm-hmm.
I'm using you know, different images and sacred geometry, let's say,
Mm-hmm.
right? The V, archways, talking about divine feminine, as you know, that little star seed kind of looks like
I know what it
the,
looks like.
right?
Yeah. I,
Like
I I
a
actually
beautiful,
forgot. I actually forgot it was a seed. I just think of it that way. I think of it how I see it. Holds still the same power, you know?
right?
Yeah.
Is the beautiful, beautiful shape of the
Beautiful.
feminine Stargate, shall we say?
Portal.
The Stargate portal
Yes.
of divinity.
That's it.
Um, I realize that I'm working in signs and symbols, and it's
Yeah.
like, wow, isn't that interesting that that's
Mm-hmm.
who you are? So I
Mm-hmm.
understand I have a very rare
Mm-hmm.
view
Yes.
in terms of my perspective of art. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
isn't that interesting that I am taking exactly how our subconscious minds speak to us in signs and symbols.
Yes.
So I'm pulling those signs and symbols out and manifesting them
Mm-hmm.
into, material things
Yeah.
that I can actually review and meditate on for myself to find deeper meaning
I love it.
within them.
Yeah.
And what I love about that is it now creates intention within that piece. So
Yes.
anybody who now has this piece,
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
move forward with
That's
the
right.
energetic vibration and frequency
That's
that
right.
was initially instilled within that
Within it.
work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I use my work as tools. So I like to say I create divine representations of cosmic forces,
Wonderful. Perfect. Properly articulated.
right? That is my that's what I called my elevator speech because at some point, people are always going to ask you who you are, what kind of
Exactly.
artwork do you do,
Yeah.
right? And that's what I do. I'm not a portrait painter or a landscape painter.
Yeah.
Right? I'm actually deep into the study of
Yes.
what is going on the inside
That's right. That's
of me. And I bring it out to
that's
share and
yeah,
have discussions about it and talk about the importance of going
yeah,
within,
that's right. That's
right?
yeah, yeah.
So that's where I find my love language
Mhm.
within that artwork. So
Yeah,
in dark times, like you were asking me, where do I find that love in the darkness?
yeah.
It's taking those moments, and hours can go by
Of course.
in those moments
Mm-hmm.
of self-discovery,
Mm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Self-discovery. So last year for me was really me embracing the authentic
Yes.
way
Yes.
that I communicate
Yes.
in this world.
Yeah. I love it. And so if last year was discovering that, then is this year just like experiencing the fruits of that? Then it's like all that
Yes.
you, yes, okay.
I'm in harvest time right now.
Harvest. I was good. Harvest is the word that was in my. I'm like, oh, she's in harvest time. Yeah. I
And
say I'm in Jubilee. Remember, I was telling you that this is Jubilee.
yeah,
This is Jubilee.
it really is. It really is that time. I'm celebrating
Yeah.
my spirituality
Um,
and my connection
yeah.
through my work. That's why the book has got to get done. I see corporate companies now wanting me to come in to assist with grounding
Yeah.
and balance in
Yeah.
terms of having that conversation
Yeah.
about the duality
Mm-hmm.
of with the just life, right?
Yeah.
And for people to really understand, like think about it. The world right now
Mm.
is all over the place.
All over. Yeah.
This is going to be an interesting year, and I truly do believe those of us who are on that journey of inner work
Yeah.
and perhaps have been on it
Yeah.
for upwards of 20 to 15 years, we are going to be um, called upon to assist
Facts.
with a lot of the grounding of love.
Yes.
Most importantly, Andia, self-love.
Talk
So
it. Talk.
that's the story.
Yeah.
That's the story of love
Mm-hmm.
that needs to be talked about. In
Yeah.
the words of the, infamous Miss Blue, self-love is the new shadow work.
Oh, it's the new shadow work. Okay.
Self-love
Is
is the
new
new
work.
shadow work.
Mm.
Okay. We in this life we've got to look at our conditioning.
Yes.
There's been a lot of conditioning. There
Yeah.
needs to be a lot of, I believe, rewiring of
Of
the
course.
mind.
100%.
A lot of us have been conditioned into certain daily habits.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
I'm telling you, this energy of nine in 2025, there's going to have to be a lot of endings
Lots.
for conditioning,
Yes. Yeah.
and there's going to be a lot of new love stories
Yes.
that are going to have to be written.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I truly do believe that this dialogue of understanding the duality of
Mm,
life, the
mm,
as above, so below, the
good.
as within, so without,
Yep.
the what you think about,
This.
you bring about,
Yeah. Yeah.
is
Mm-hmm.
going to need to pull some focus
Mm-hmm.
in terms of the great love story for 2025.
Yes. Yes. I'm like,
Mhm.
just keep talking because it's like, yes. So much of what you're saying, I'm listening and um you mentioned about, well, there's so much you mentioned. Okay. You mentioned about um nine and nine being, it is the ending and the beginning all at the same time, you know. And when I was asked about, 2024, it's so funny. I'm looking up at my wall as I'm saying this, and I'm looking at my wall and I'm seeing five nines, nine, 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 nine. and I have something written because that was one of the signs I was given right when I was going to, like, after the NDE, and that spirit showed me to like do this YouTube channel again and to share my story, what dying taught me. And I saw 5 9s that day, so I wrote it down and the message that came. So it's just so funny. We're talking, I just look up and it's like, oh, the 9s. But there is so much with the 9s, and I'm looking at it now and it's talking about growth and success. It is really the Jubilee time. What I have written down there is all about growth. And sometimes, whatever we spend our time doing, like, I don't spend as much time doing, YouTube videos as I used to in the beginning. I pretty much just do these 2 podcasts, Love Story
Mhm.
and Come Let Us Reason Together. Um, but the things that are being discussed on this platform and also on the other one, it is all about 9, right? It's all about that dying and then living. It's about that pruning that we all have to go through in some way, and we have to be okay. Like you're talking about duality. We have to be okay with dying. We have to be okay with
Yes,
allowing that part of ourselves, a part of ourselves, to die, in order for another part to grow. We have to see death in another way, and that's a lot of the shifting that I see happening, right? Like 2024 for many people was very difficult. Just a shitload of things happening, if I may say
yeah,
so, a lot of things happening, but that was to bring in so much contrast that we could easily allow the certain things to fall off. If we had doubt about certain people, about certain things we're involved in, the drama was present in order to make it very clear. Contrast. It's not gray. It's just black and white now. The other
yes,
years were gray. Now it's black and white. 2024 was, this is going to be either very black or very white, and choose if you want black or white. That's it. There's no in betweening. And if you did choose to still try to hold on to both things, it is going to be very sad for you,
it
because you're missing out
really,
on the blessing of what 2024 was. And so
yeah,
learning to see those traumas, those troubles, those stressful situations as nothing more than, like a sifting process, something that came in to sift so that you could know, okay, I'm going to open my heart and this is the shape of my heart. Anything that fits this shape will come in. And if it doesn't, it can't. So
yes,
helping us to see the shape of ourselves, like, as in, what do we actually really want? What is actually our desire? What is actually our dream? And when you talked about, being able to form yourself again, what kind of artist are you going to be now that you're not in the galleries anymore yet again, right? Trust me,
yes,
it's gonna be there. But now that you're not, okay, how are you gonna present yourself? And that
yes,
was what I faced with the NDE. I was just talking to
yes,
about it. How do I, Mosai, how do I show up in this world now that that part of me, I like, as much as I came back, a big, huge part of me died. And so we go through this all the time, but we don't acknowledge it because we keep holding on to the old life, so we're like
mhm,
walking dead people because we're
mhm,
not allowing ourselves to just die to a certain thing, a certain belief, a certain system, a certain relationship, a certain way, a certain whatever it is, and then come into the new, you know? And that's what I get
yes,
about everything. And your new piece that you have that I love so much, that I wish I had it here. I know you have it on Etsy. I want to have all of your information so I could have it down there so people could go and see. But it is the Ankh, 88 Ankhs.
yes,
Can
yes,
you, and I know I said a bunch of stuff there, but as you were talking, I was just seeing them, and I was like, it is such a beautiful, you have so many beautiful pieces. You have so many beautiful pieces. But is that one of your most recent, like from what I know, from what I've seen, maybe you have one you've been working on or whatever, but can you talk to me about how that came about?
yes. And again, it fits in to this story
Yeah.
of duality. And
Yeah.
it And I just want to touch base for a moment when you talked about, the death of part of
Mm,
yourself.
yeah.
Um, because it fits into the theme again of my art where I have a sculpture piece called Surrender
Mm.
and Shed,
Ooh. Mm.
right?
Yeah.
And just again, let's remind ourselves that 2025 in Chinese astrology is the year of the snake.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes.
So when you talk about that change, Yandia,
Shedding. Yeah.
there's going to be a lot of
Yes.
shedding
Yes.
this year.
Yeah.
And we as a people really need to look at it as um, that surrender to
Yes.
what no longer
Sure.
serves you.
Yeah. Yes. That is.
But because of conditioning, there's
Yeah.
going to be a lot of people who are going to have a hard time with just
Mm-hmm.
letting that go.
Letting it go. Yes.
So the reason I'm bringing it up is
Mm-hmm.
because now you're asking me about the Ankh.
Yes.
And the Ankh really is that story of the as above, so below, in the sense that
Mm-hmm.
we are energetic beings
Yes, we are.
living in these physical bodies, and just a small part of that God particle, source particle, is within this avatar. But
Yes.
there's a larger
Part.
part of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
That lives out there in the unseen,
Yes.
which is really connecting to that subconscious mind of ours and assisting us
Yeah.
on that walk. And what I feel is that a lot of people don't have an understanding
Mm-hmm.
of that.
Yes.
Even how did I even get here? How
Yeah.
did this little piece of particle of
Yeah.
me even get here?
Exactly. Exactly.
That beautiful Ankh
Mm-hmm.
is the story of the stargate of the woman's uterus,
Yes.
of how we travel through that stargate
Mm-hmm.
and are born.
Yeah.
But that little God spark
Mm-hmm.
that creates that little fetus
Yeah.
within that womb.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the Ankh, it has that beautiful womb part
That's
at the
right.
top.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Why don't I just grab one right here for us?
Just grab
Right.
it.
So,
Ah,
so
very
this
good.
beautiful part of the Ankh here,
Yes.
is that uterus where the baby is. This would be considered the fallopian tubes here. And this here would be, that vaginal
Yeah.
area here,
Yeah.
right? The Egyptians knew the power of the divine feminine energy. They understood that the woman hold that divine power of bringing life
Yes.
force energy
That's right.
into material
Yeah,
matter form
that's right. Matter.
to experience
Mm-hmm.
all beautiful
Yeah.
5 fingers and toes and
Yeah.
movement and
Mm-hmm.
voice and all the beautiful things and that we can do here on this earth, right? In this beautiful Eden. So, I really wanted to assist people with understanding that process, that you were energy.
Yes.
From energy, you
Mm-hmm.
came through that starlight portal,
Yep.
right? And I have a discussion that everything that is in the cosmic skies also resides within you. You're actually made up of all of those planets. People look at the planets like they are,
Mm-hmm.
you know, actually kind of like the Earth. They're actually energy, right?
Yes.
Different balls of energy out there. And we all are made up of all of those beautiful planets
Mm,
out there that create us. So we internally, there's a universe inside of us as well,
for sure.
right? It really is a discussion about the science
Mm,
of self.
yes.
We are more physics
Yeah.
than we are biology,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love this.
right?
Yep.
So, when are we really going to get into that discussion?
We could get
So I
into it
use the
now.
artwork, sis,
Yeah.
to as a creative way, as a gentle and creative way of opening up these
That
discussions
conversation, yes.
about the science of
Yeah.
self,
Yes, yes. I love it.
right?
Yes.
So people understand that that little voice in their head is actually the larger sense of themselves.
Bigger
Here's
voice.
how I like to do it from a visual perspective. An iceberg.
Yep.
You ever
Yep.
seen a picture of an iceberg where you see the beautiful image of the iceberg on top,
Top.
but then
Yes.
underneath the
It's so
water,
much.
it's
Yes.
massive?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
exactly what we are as
That's right.
energy.
That's right.
On the
That's right.
top, where
Yes.
that iceberg, and there's just a part of our
Mhm.
spark of particle of,
Mhm.
light force
Yep.
that's in that beautiful structure. But on the bottom, in
So
that
much more.
what?
Yes.
That's really how vast and big
Yeah.
we are.
That's right.
And, we need to understand that. So
Yeah.
then also with the Ankh, I have a discussion
Mhm.
about our different bodies. You've
Yeah.
got your physical body,
Yes.
but you also have an emotional body,
Yeah. Yes.
right?
Yep.
Your ethereal body, your
Mm-hmm.
spiritual body, your
Mm-hmm.
mental body,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
All these little energies
Yes.
outside of your
Yeah.
self,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
right? Why
Mm.
didn't we talk about that in school, right? So, for those who went through that system, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why, I love the fact that you homeschool your children so that
Mm-hmm.
you can be able to really touch on
Right.
these beautiful reality
Yes.
aspects
Yes.
of life.
Yep.
Um, so for me, studying the Ankh, right? And then what I also realized that how the Egyptians used that Ankh was as a mirror,
Mm-hmm.
right? You see
Yep.
how I talk about these mirrors with the reflection?
Yes.
I I truly do feel for such a time as this, like I'm a modern day scribe. It's
100%.
not the Ankh, but I'm still having that conversation
Yeah.
about the reflection,
Yes. Yes.
about the importance of the mirror.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay?
Yep.
So I also, have that conversation with people as well, is
Mm-hmm.
that the stories of the ancestors in terms of knowing thyself,
Yes. Yep.
right, are
Yeah.
still flowing through us
Always.
in the most beautiful and authentic ways.
Yeah.
And that is my truth,
That is the love.
right?
Yeah. Yes.
So, so, when I said to you about last year, really just honing in to understand that, that was me looking across all the art that I've created and
Yes.
going, wow,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Look at how God speaks through me. Look at my love language,
Wow. Wow. Wow.
right?
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
So, and the fact that, and I'll give you just a little bit of background too about 88 Onks. I designed 88 Onks initially back in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I launched it,
2025.
sorry, excuse me, 2015. Sorry, I was looking at the five. I was looking at the five. 2015.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe you're gonna relaunch it again.
And the thing is, the interesting thing is I was going through some turmoil in my life and had to make some transitions, right? I had lost my house, had to move to a condo, you know what I'm saying? I'm a mom, I'm a wife, like all these things were going on. So in that transition, it set me back for launching that piece. But guess what? In 2024, Most High brings me back around to a place of being settled, and I can revisit some of these projects that I hadn't launched.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a real desperation for me to launch it on a certain date. Well, when I go back and I look at 2015, I look and I see that 2015 is 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 5. It was an 8 vibrational year.
Mm, mm,
Okay. And
mhm.
I had finished it in the 10th month. I can't remember what day,
Yeah.
but fast forward now, in terms of launching it, I launched it in that same month.
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
And um 2024 was an 8 year,
Yes.
an 8 vibrational year.
Yeah.
So I see how spirit's talking to me
Mhm,
and bringing it around again for me
mhm, mhm.
to launch it in that same energy,
Yes.
right? There's a very beautiful thing about love as well.
Yeah.
If you are in alignment
Mm,
with your love language
yes.
and source,
Yeah.
you are connected to and being guided and lots of confirmation coming in. So there were downloads coming to me saying, listen, get it up on Etsy, right? Get the workshop together. It
Yeah.
needs to launch now.
Clear direction.
Clear,
You know. Yeah.
right? And it's
Mhm.
only after when I sit in meditation and look at those things and looked on the date and says, what?
Mm,
The 2015. So I'm just showing you how God will give you signs
yes.
and symbols
That's right. Yes.
to assist in that beautiful guidance of love to you, to show you that you are exactly where you need to be
Mhm.
for such a time as this.
Yes. Yes.
So, moving forward, my job is going to be to share these stories, the
Mhm.
signs that I saw, the
Yeah.
symbols that I saw,
Yeah.
um, that assisted me in
Yeah.
launching things at a certain time, creating things. You know what I'm saying? This is how
Process.
you
Yeah.
know
Mhm.
what your path, your true
Yeah.
divine path is,
Yeah. For sure.
right?
Mhm.
And let's also look at it from this perspective of love. I knew from a very young age that my passion,
Mhm.
and we're all here to create,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So my passion from a young child, I knew that I wanted to be an artist.
Now, this is the question that's on here. I'm looking at my phone, I'm looking at the screen, and Dwayne is asking, can you share more about how you discovered your love language, which is actually what you're talking about right now. You
Right now,
knew ever
I
since
knew.
you were younger that art was your thing. Tell us a little bit, because you did touch on it. You mentioned you had foster parents.
Not
So
foster parents. I
not
was,
you're adopted, sorry, you're adopted, right? Yeah.
yes,
Yeah, you
my
mentioned
adoptive parents.
yeah.
I was adopted into a Bayesian family
Yeah.
because my biological grandmother is Bayesian.
Okay.
So I was adopted at 18 months.
Yeah.
8 months or 18 months?
Yeah.
Um, 8 months. I'm
8
looking
months.
at the baby picture. I was
Yeah.
not walking by then. It must have been 8 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was just a tiny little thing.
Mm-hmm.
So a very beautiful
Mm-hmm.
family.
Mm-hmm.
I lost my mom in 2022. I lost my actual birth mother in 2022, and my adoptive father I lost in April of 2024. So ashe to them in
Yes.
the
Exactly.
ancestral realm.
Yeah.
Beautiful, loving, supportive family, especially when it came to my creativity.
Mm-hmm.
Um, always very open to assist me to move on that path.
Mm-hmm.
Um, to answer Dwayne's question, growing up at school, everything I did was creative. And I remember being like, I think 11 or 12-year-old kid, maybe just turning 12, taking a visual arts painting class at the high school down and around the corner from where I lived. You know,
Mhm.
summer break, mom's like, find something to do, kid, whatever you want to do. What camp do you want to go to? You know, back in the day, those were the things that we did. So I said, I want to go to art camp over here at the local high school. And I
Mhm.
went there and had a beautiful teacher by the name of Maxine Shacker, who now runs an animation school called Max the Mutt Animation School here in Toronto. And she took me under her wing in this painting class, and she saw that, wow, you got some talent at such a young age.
Wow.
And from there, she was like, I teach at the Jewish Community Center um, over on Avenue. Why don't you come and take some of my life drawing classes? But I'm
Mm.
going to have to speak to your parents because you're only 12.
You're so young.
I was
Yeah.
so young, and there was going to be nudes. So I was like, oh, nudes. Okay. Totally didn't know what I was
Yeah.
getting into, but I was into it. This woman said that I had some talent, and
Yeah.
for me, my heart is pounding because this is
Yeah.
my direction.
Yeah.
So she came and had dinner at my house, and she basically sat down and said to my parents, listen, I'm telling you right now, I am an educator, I am an artist, and she herself, this Jewish woman, was an exceptional painter, and
Wow.
she used to paint. Her passion was boxers
The
and
dogs or
yeah,
boxers or
black
okay,
boxers in the
like
ring.
boxers. Okay, not
Ye-
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, right, boxing. Um, and black women sitting on porches in the
Okay.
South
Like older. Okay, I could see it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
back in the
Okay.
day. This is a white Jewish woman,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? And I remember one day she
You
revealed
could
to me
feel the energy of those
she felt in a past life she might have
yeah,
been a black woman.
melanated person. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So isn't it amazing that her paintings would be these memories? Like
yeah.
I
Yeah,
call
of
them
course,
memories because where
of
else is it
course.
coming from?
Exactly, exactly. Yeah,
Right? Anyways, I thought that's just a side note, but I thought that was very interesting about her. So she had a
yeah,
real fondness for me,
yeah.
right? She had something with me. I know there was a spiritual connection.
Mhm.
I feel like this woman was like a mother in a past life.
Something exactly, exactly.
Okay.
Hmm.
So she came to my house, sat down with my parents, and said, listen, man, you're missing it. Your
Yeah,
child has
has a gift.
has a
Yeah,
gift,
yes.
and I'm
Mhm.
about to be a director at a art school, high
Yeah,
school,
yeah.
and I want her to come and audition with the work that she did this summer.
Wow,
Right?
wow.
Can you imagine?
Yeah,
Watch
12 years
God just
old.
align me up for my life.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love
So
it.
now, girl, now
Yeah,
now my
yeah,
parents are like, oh,
yeah,
okay. So she
yeah,
is really good, right? Listen, I have West Indian parents. They want me to be a doctor, a lawyer, they want me to be something that fits in the box. You know what I'm saying? And I'm
yeah,
like, I'm a creative. I'm feeling that it's almost nothing will keep me from it. Nothing's gonna
yeah,
keep me from it,
yeah.
from my love.
Hmm.
So that's where those roots really started, was having that experience. And
Yeah,
now here I am back in the early 80s, I guess just coming out of the 70s and going into the 80s. And I'm at the Jewish Community Center, this little black girl taking art classes with Maxine Shacker. Listen, when my father dropped me off on Saturdays, it was very hard sometimes for him to let me out that door because you're going into this Jewish
yeah,
community. It was in this really rich part of town and all this kind of stuff. And Maxine would have to come and meet me at the door because
yeah,
people were staring at me like, I think you're in the wrong place,
yeah, yeah. Wow.
right?
Yeah,
And all I remember is my excitement. I didn't understand any of that.
You're just excited to paint, excited
stuff.
to draw, whatever
Yeah. But
art.
I
Yeah.
do remember Maxine walking through the halls and going, "What are you looking at?"
Mm,
Like it really just bought like
yeah.
what?
Yeah.
So I was the youngest in the class, and there was all these adults in the class. Girl, when that robe dropped, I was like,
Ah!
what, what part do I draw first? Hmm.
Was it a naked man or woman? What was it, the first drawing?
My first model, I believe, was a man. Yeah,
Oh, and you
it was
how
a
old? And you're like
man.
12? You're like 12 years old?
Yeah, but luckily for me, I grew up in a household that was very
Yeah,
open. So we
very
kids were
open.
running around
Of
all the,
course,
you know
yeah.
what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like I ain't,
yeah, yeah.
I'd done seen everything already anyway. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it didn't really matter to
It
me,
didn't shock
right?
you. No, it
It,
wasn't
it
a
it
shock.
was not a
Yeah,
shocking thing at
yeah,
all. I just
yeah,
wanted to get on with it. I wanted to
yeah,
understand,
yeah.
how do you draw energy? How do you draw someone in motion? What is
Shannon.
that called, right? And she
Yeah,
called it
yeah.
a gesture drawing. You know what I
Wow.
mean? And the way
Yeah.
that she talked, she was from New York. So she always talked
Yeah.
like this. So she would be like, pretend like you're a small bug crawling across the form, right? Feel the form, right? So, and the form
Do
was
more, do more.
the form was very different crawling across
Yeah.
the back of your hand than it would be
Yeah.
on your elbow. There's a different level of
Yeah.
sensitivity from the elbow
Right.
to your neck.
Exactly.
So
That's right.
it was so beautiful to
I love
be
that.
tapping into
Mhm.
these senses and sensations of touch and learning how to lift the pencil off the page and not press so hard in that area because I'm going across the neck and even across a woman's breast, or if
Yeah.
I'm going across the hip bone, that
Hip, all soft
oh
movements. Yeah.
girl, let me tell
You
you
gotta catch
something.
it. You gotta catch it. I know. I know. I want to go like paint right now.
Right?
You
So
get it?
it
Yeah.
was to breathe life
Mm-hmm.
into your forms. And as
Yeah.
I sit here now and recount this with you,
Yeah.
it makes sense to me when it comes to my sculptures and working
Yeah.
with clay,
Yeah.
how I can infuse my intention into the pieces, because that was how I was raised. I was raised to understand the touch,
Yeah.
right? In
Mm,
order to bring life
yeah.
to the
Yeah.
form, whether it be on paper or
Yeah.
clay, or,
Yeah.
capturing some sort of gesture or movement in a photograph.
Yeah.
So, um, yes, Dwayne, those are the origins of me
Mm-hmm.
capturing life in motion,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. So sorry, it just got excited. You see, it
Yeah.
excites me. It's just so exciting.
No, you know what? It's it's amazing because I never went to school for art. Um,
Yeah,
but ever since I was little, I I love landscapes. I love
yeah,
scenery. And my thing of drawing was the ability, well, painting too, but it was the ability to bring what you saw, like I'm from the Caribbean, so we go to the beach and you see the mountains. We have beautiful mountains in St. Lucia. And it's you leave the beach and then you're home and you're daydreaming about going back to the beach, right?
yes,
And then drawing was a way for me to remember again that place, by trying
yes,
to, how big was the tree? How, and then so doing that, trying to replicate the memory and to put it onto the paper because I didn't have no camera, right?
yes,
Put it onto the paper and then to keep drawing until it looked like exactly how I remembered it.
yes, that moment.
Oh my gosh. And then it's like when I would go out, I would realize, oh, you forgot. you didn't, because in the trying to draw, like, wait, was the mountain more leaning this way, or was you start
Yeah.
realizing how you weren't paying attention, and so now when you go back to the beach, I'm looking at things with a whole different way. And it started happening. It happens with everything. It's like I realized the more, if I don't know how to replicate something, is because I wasn't present. I wasn't looking,
Ah,
really truly looking at it. And then I remember when I started doing portraits, when I had my second son, I didn't go back to work, but I wanted to still make money. So I just started, I said, how can I do this? Okay, you know what? I'll just draw portraits, sell them for $100 something. And I was just drawing portraits for people. And that's when I really, really realized the importance. Because remember, I never went, I mean, I stopped art in like grade 10, you know? And then I realized just on my own the importance of observation, drawing what you see well, and it's how to see, right? Learning
mm,
to appreciate what is and not trying to create a different image of it in your mind, unless that's what you're trying to do. But when you're going to do like
yes.
realism, you have to accept, that nose has a bump. Do the bump, put the bump. Don't try to,
True.
plastic be the person out, because then you're going to end up with something that doesn't look like the person. And
Yes.
so when I meet people and I stare at them differently. I don't just when I'm looking at them, I'm always looking at them as if I'm gonna as if I'm gonna paint them or as if I'm gonna
Mhm.
draw them. Everything I look at that way, just ever since little, right? And it's like as
Yes.
you're talking, I'm like, and you're talking about the touch and the form, and I'm like, that's what I do with my eyes, right? And I so
Yes.
want to get into clay. I actually started doing clay with my second youngest, Oni, every
Mm.
Tuesday. And I have the wheel and everything. And for the first time, right, I put my hand and I'm like, this shit is hard. That was like spinning all around. I'm like, let me figure out the right dials and like the speed and everything. But
Yeah. And the
maybe
water.
the water. Oh, but Donna-Lee, it's like when you get the water, and then I just got into a moment of feeling my finger pressing in and seeing.
Yes.
Oh, and
Good. So good.
I keep just doing that over and over. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
well, let's make another ball. Actually, it's so hilarious. Don't even laugh at me. This is nothing. It is something. But I made this shape. Look at it. This is from my wheel, right? You can hardly see it
Yes, I see. I see. Yeah.
because I said, you know what? I just want to replicate the water. There was a way that the water was moving on the clay. It's so funny.
Yes.
My daughter just brought this to me a few days ago because I had left it drying in the kitchen. And she says, Mom, here. And she put it on my desk. And so as we're talking, it's still there because I have to figure out, you can't really see it here, but it captured the lines of the water.
Yes. Isn't
And I
it
said,
beautiful?
I just want to stop. It kind of looks like I don't know, like what's you call those things? Like when a whirlpool is forming, it's too bad you can't catch all of the because I think my lighting, right? It's too much.
I can't capture it, but I know
But you know what
exactly
I'm talking about.
what
You
you're
could kind of
talking
almost
about.
see in here. But it has, if you're close up, it has all of it's almost like you could see the water, right? And I stopped and I said,
The
yeah,
spiral
the
effect.
spiral, yeah. And I said,
Effect.
I'm like, forget it, forget the vase. I want this. I want to capture this because this was my joy of my finger in there and then seeing.
And watching it and seeing it
Oh, I said, no, this
change.
ends right here. I'll make a vase or some another time. This is it. This is what I want. This is the joy
Yes,
I'm feeling
yes.
in
Yeah,
there.
that moment, capturing that moment,
Capture the
the way
moment,
it
you know?
felt, the way,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
is very, very special.
Yeah, it is so special. And
Yeah,
so hearing you talk about that, it's like I I don't know, a lot of people don't know maybe that I'm an artist. I have my art's been selling for years, whatever the case is.
yeah,
But I love other artists. I love anybody who's doing anything actually creative because there's something about when a person, and when I say creative, it could be a mechanic, when
exactly.
somebody is in their like you said, how did you say it, purpose, passion with purpose.
Yes,
Anytime
yes.
someone is operating in their passion purposefully, deliberately, consciously,
Deliberately,
it is to
consciously.
me
Yeah.
like it is being close to God.
We're here to
Anytime.
create.
That is
That is
it.
your
And
birthright.
it is. It
We
is.
are co-creators.
Creators.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
let's look at that.
Yeah.
When you look at the when you consider that we all of us on this planet are a little God spark. Each of us have a little spark of God within us, right? And the omnipresence of the Most High
Yes.
is this, and this is my interpretation
Hmm.
of how I see it, okay? In the grand scheme of the
Everything.
omnipresence of love,
Yes.
my love, source's love story,
Yes.
all
Yes.
of the little lights, which we
Mm,
are, that come down here,
yeah.
he's, and I just say
I know.
he,
Yeah.
divine, masculine
Yeah.
and feminine, the
Yes. Yeah.
one,
The
the
one.
one is experiencing
Mm-hmm.
each of us through our
Yes.
purpose, our passion, and our
Mm,
purpose, right? That
yeah.
energy is going back up. I swear,
Mm,
that's what it is. We're down
yeah.
here to co-create, to give
Yes.
that,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
pass that experience on of creation.
Yes.
So my
Yes.
question, to everybody is, what are you here to create?
That's it. That's it. Yes. Yes.
Right? And like you said, could be a mechanic, you
Yeah.
could be a doctor, you
Yeah.
can be a lawyer.
Yeah.
There, you know what I'm saying?
Could be a dancer. You could
You can
be,
be a
because when
dancer.
we talk about creativity, people always think of it like the majority of people think of it as in, art, singing, dancing,
Yeah,
right?
no.
That's it. No, no, no. Life force energy is creative energy. And
Yes.
expressing that life force energy,
How
you
are
are
you doing it?
creating. Yeah,
Yeah,
how are you gonna express the
right?
light of in this world? How are you gonna express? That
It could
is
be a skier,
yeah.
that
Yeah,
expression of
of course,
gliding down the
course.
snow.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
what?
And you're
What is snowboarding?
anytime somebody is in their element, when they're really in it, and we have many, you don't have to just be one. It's just whenever you come into that place, and I think it rests in that place of because okay, I could say since we're both artists, you can know that there are times when if you just take to whatever medium you're going to use and you're just going to create, it's a very different feeling from when you're creating with a of the pressure of a deadline, or like because you're even judging yourself like it's been so long since I've created something, I got to go create something. When you're not operating in that energy and you're just creating for the love of creating, it is two different, it's two different feelings, right? And there's such a freedom in just making whatever. Like when I sat down to do this clay thing, I didn't have any idea. My whole thing was like, okay, we're starting pottery. My son's doing it. It's my turn. Let me feel it for the first time.
Mhm.
And then I said, oh, maybe I could try to make a vase or make something. And then I got into it. I got so into it. I let go of the idea that I could make a vase very
Having
quickly.
like any preconceived notion
I
of,
let I
yeah,
let go. I'm like, oh, vase ain't happening today. So what now? And I just got really into it. And so I'm saying, what if it's all about just being present with
yes,
whatever it is that we're doing and
yes,
realizing in this moment, we talked about God being all knowing. My belief is that God is all knowing because God is within all of us, knowing all. I honestly, I don't just believe that I know it. I know it because I've experienced it, and within me, outside of me, every way I've experienced that. So what if we moved with the deliberate consciousness that whatever I'm doing right now, this is the body, this is the vehicle, but the knowing and the consciousness within me is most high, experiencing life through my
yes.
perspective. experiencing
Absolutely.
life through, my hands holding clay is different from your hands holding clay.
Definitely.
I have a different fingerprint. It could never be the same, even if we try to make it identical. And you know what? And that is beautiful. And that is beautiful because while I'm pressing in what I'm thinking and my experience and whatever, I'm working out something and somebody else could be doing it and they're working something different out. Someone else is doing it and
Exactly.
they're not working out. They're just, they're just, and so life is so beautiful. Life is so beautiful when we slow down and we just realize I am divinity in mortality. I am immortality in mortality, experiencing the
Exactly.
moment that will never play itself again.
Exactly.
It's so beautiful. So
It
what are we
is,
gonna create?
right?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah,
And as long as you and like, and let's just take a look at, you see how beautiful we sit in that? It's because we're confident in
yeah,
that.
yes.
But the idea, there's a lot of people who are not
True,
confident
true,
in understanding or seeing that love
true.
story. There's a
Yeah,
lot of fear
yes, lots of fear.
out there right now. Some people don't even know how to self-love,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
right? Where do I start with that?
Yeah,
Maybe some people will say, well, Donna-Lee, lucky you, you had a great childhood. I didn't.
you didn't.
I
Okay,
had a traumatic childhood
I
or
just
with
got, I
lots
just
of trauma. Like,
I just got the chills. So I have to do it here because the question that came into my mind and then I felt the chills and you said it was just so all together is since you're talking to us about self-love and I do know that that is the topic. This is what it is about. 2025 it is seeing who you are, being more than okay with it, and allowing yourself to attract to yourself like-minded people because you can, this is it. You have to be so deliberately you so that you could, if someone doesn't like you when you're deliberately being your authentic self, that is good. Allow them to fall away. Like, let it go. Because there are
mm-hmm,
so many who will appreciate you and your authentic self. And that's what you want because that's more energy. It's more of what you need to be able to catapult yourself. Trust me, that there are things coming this year that you're going to need that sort of love, but it comes first from you loving yourself. And when you love yourself and you could be that authentic, others who love you are drawn to you because they love you. They're not
that
they're not
attraction.
adoring, they're not putting, no, they actually love you. And then that feeling that energy just gives you the confidence to expand your own self even more. So tell us how, if you could go as far back as you just said, your childhood was traumatic. How did
Not
you
traumatic. I'm saying that some
not
people have traumatic. I
some
had an amazing childhood.
you had an amazing childhood, but what is the part of your childhood? Because we all have a part. So, and if you don't have a part in your childhood, when did you encounter a moment of, I don't love myself in this area? You see what I'm saying? Some of us experience it when we compromise and stay in a relationship. Some of us experience it. You get what I'm saying? There's a moment when you realize, oh,
Yeah.
I'm not self. Some of us it's diet. It's not going to sleep on time. It's
Mm-hmm.
saying yes when we should say no. You understand? But there's a moment
Yeah.
when you
Yeah.
realize, oh, I haven't been self-loving. What
Yes.
what was
And
that
and
for you?
and I'll tell you when that happened.
Yeah.
I've always been very confident in with my creative self.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But in in a relationship that I was in, um what was starting to happen is I was being, I guess the communication, um I didn't feel as respected in my creativity
Okay.
as, in this world, a lot of people are working in the matrix. They're making a lot of money.
Yeah.
And my thing was, okay, if I'm this artist, how am
Yeah.
I going to make a lot of money? So I
Yes.
was caught in that duality of the two worlds.
Yeah.
of following my passion and, like you're saying, creating from my passionate place, as
Yeah.
opposed to, does this picture match the color of your couch, Mr. Smith? Okay.
Yeah.
I was never going to be that artist where I'm trying to create something to match the color of your couch.
Yeah.
So I was placing myself in a space of judgment.
Ooh.
Am I good enough?
Wow.
Am I worthy enough
Mm.
to be, quote unquote, seen as a world stage artist?
Yeah.
Right? Because I have peers who have already had shows at the AGO, who've done all these things, and it's just like, well, how do I get myself in that space? And I'm just like, well, for what you do, is it contingent that you have to be at the AGO? Like,
Yeah.
like, is
Yeah.
that a thing?
Yeah.
Right? But it's like, as an artist, apparently it is. Shouldn't I want to show at certain galleries and museums and all of those things? So, Yandia,
Yeah.
my challenge in my love story
Mm.
was to get over judgment.
Ooh. Yeah. Wow.
And that's a big word,
That's huge. I have chill. I
right?
still have chills. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
huge.
So,
This is huge.
I was thinking like, who am I judging?
Yeah.
Am I judging myself?
Yeah.
Am I judging others because of what, like, where, like, I was even fighting with just the word
Yeah.
judgment.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
But
That's
when I realized
mm.
through the shadow work that,
Wow.
oh my God, I'm placing the judgment on me. I think I'm not worthy
Yeah.
as an artist because I'm not showing at the
At these
AGO,
places.
or I'm
Yeah.
not in that gallery on Yorkville,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then, and this is all through the COVID,
Yes.
by the way, because I'm now looking for a different way because I'm thinking, well, they can't be in the galleries either.
Yeah.
So it's not just me.
Yeah.
You understand? So like
Yes,
these
I
things
do.
were showing me, because I'm now watching everybody and like, what is everybody doing?
Yes.
And I realized, oh, isn't it interesting? I've shifted and been able to go into all these different areas with my creativity,
Mm-hmm.
taking my experience and
Yeah.
using it in that way. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, okay. So now how can I do that, with the art
Yeah.
itself? And I was like, maybe you're not, maybe you need to consider you're not going to be
Mm.
that type of artist
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
you're going to be doing all of those galleries. And maybe in 2025, it doesn't have to be done that way, Donna-Lee.
Right. Yes. That's so beautiful.
Like
Yep.
what?
Yes.
What? The glass of wine, everybody's out drinking at the show. You know what I'm saying? And nobody buys anything. All that. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody buys
What?
anything.
What is
Yeah.
it really all about?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're looking for? And I'm like, no, I want to talk about the process of the work. I want to tell my stories. And then that's when I started to do the poetry with the work,
Yes. Yes.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that's a beautiful way to do it.
Yes.
So now I'm looking to have garden shows with my sculpture and do spoken word
Mm-hmm.
with it, give people the opportunity to Miranda around the garden and
Yeah.
experience the sculptures. And then I'll do this beautiful
Yeah.
spoken word show with it,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? It was time for me to write a new love story, Yandia,
That's right. That's right.
right?
Yep.
But the judgment was my self-love hookup. It was placing too much judgment based on the conditioning
Mm-hmm.
of what an artist
Exactly.
is
Yes.
supposed to be.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
So now for 2025, I'm on a trajectory of looking at getting into different spaces to
Yeah.
showcase the work, talk about my poetry, but also talk about this journey of self-love, inner
Yes.
work, and
Yep.
duality,
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yep.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
this is me doing my work for the collective consciousness
That's
on the planet.
Yes.
to assist to elevate that.
That's right.
Because I didn't really even understand. It was like, oh my God, like I didn't understand that I had a love issue,
Yes. Yes. Right. Yeah. Yes. That's what
right? I
Mhm.
mean, it wasn't stopping me from doing my work. I was still doing my work,
Yeah. Hmm.
but my perspective, I needed to change the perspective as well on what you thought or how you thought the work was going to be
Yes.
shown. Those opportunities, like, nothing's off the table. I
Yes.
still know and believe
Yeah.
that on the grand scale of things, my work will end up in all kinds of museums and great galleries. Do you understand?
Of
Like,
course.
I know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
However, I did have to change
Yes.
the the journey of it
Hmm. Hmm.
because a lot of this journey is the surrender.
That's
Just do the work,
yeah.
Donna-Lee.
Yeah.
Most High Source is going to line you up with the right people
That's it.
at
Yeah.
the right divine time
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
move forward in your light.
That's right.
Faith
Yes.
and trust.
Yes.
Girl, that's what I go on now.
Yeah.
I listen, I just do my work and I listen. Ping, sorry, time to move. All right, I'm ready.
That's right. That's right.
I am ready.
Oh.
So, how are we doing? Does anybody out there have any questions?
Oh, just so much love, claps. Every as you're talking, different things. It's like,
Because I'm a joker.
yeah, no, wonderful. Something here because it's gone up now so much, but let's see. Uh, Dwayne Milan is saying this is really great. Dwayne is saying I feel like your art has to be shown in the theatrical environment, and
Yes.
yeah, and then
Okay, Dwayne. Okay, thank you, Dwayne, for mentioning that. So, with that said, I've moved into a smaller space, so not all of my work can fit
yeah.
in the space. I took it all out of storage. All them
Mhm.
things cost so much money.
Mhm.
So a girlfriend, all my friends were just like, I'll put it up. I'll put it in my house. Like all these people were
Hold
just
it.
like, I'll take it, I'll take it, I'll take it, I'll take it, I'll take it.
Yeah.
So I was just like, wow, okay.
Mhm.
So I have a girlfriend who's also a spoken word artist and writes in terms of theater and so on.
Yeah.
Um, so she has a number of what I call my scribble drawings. I don't know if you've ever seen the scribble drawings, but she's taken 5 pieces of mine and they're currently living in her home. Well, my girl is now writing a piece around these pieces because she's been living with them. Now, very beautiful and voluptuous friend of mine, and these pieces celebrate femininity in
Yes.
its
Oh, I
fullness
know which
and
ones you're talking about.
vol
I know which ones you're talking about now. As soon as you said that, I was like, oh yes, yes. Yeah, yeah.
right?
Yes, I love those. Yeah.
So she deals a lot with self-image,
Yes.
being the voluptuous, womanly nature that she is.
Yeah.
The gaze is
Mhm.
always upon her,
Yes. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Men have a way of lusting over
Yes.
her
Yes.
all of the time,
Yeah.
and it is quite a thing to experience, actually.
Yeah.
Okay? Um, yeah, she's just a beautiful, beautiful energy and truly that,
Hmm.
you know, beautiful feminine form. So she's gonna do a work with those pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dwayne, she's gonna do a work with those pieces, and I'm so happy. These particular pieces are what I call the scribble drawings.
Hmm.
I created these pieces when I first came out of university,
Yeah.
got into my first studio, because again, conditioning, I'm now like, I don't have an assignment. Like, what am I supposed to do in here? Right?
Hmm.
And then, you really start contemplating those things of education and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I, at some point, wanted that expression, that freeness of expression, that gesture. So
Yeah.
I just started scribbling on these pieces of paper, listening to music that I loved, trying to keep my vibration high, and I truly was just scribbling on these pages.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would sit back in my studio and I would stare at them.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I'd be like, what?
Yeah. This looks like.
What?
Yeah.
Is that a backside? Wait, that is a what? Look at that, right?
Yeah.
And all of these beautiful feminine
Shapes.
forms and
Yeah.
shapes
Form.
and
Mm-hmm.
started coming out of these pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And I called this series because this is me now looking for self-discovery of what kind of artist am I going to be? What am I really doing with
Yes.
this creativity now that I've graduated all these things?
Mm.
So this series was called Romantic Places in My Mind,
Mm.
knowing one day I would find.
Mm. Mm.
Now, the interesting thing is, let me be honest. The title originally was Romantic Places in My Mind, hoping one day I would find. And a friend
Mm.
of mine came to my studio and said, what?
Hoping.
Bing,
Yeah.
you better know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at this work.
Yeah.
Like, you better know. I was like, okay,
Knowing.
okay,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
But I look at all these beautiful moments as setups from God, right?
Of course,
These
that
people
guided
coming
you.
in and saying these things,
Oh,
helping me to
yeah.
see, right?
Yep.
The beautiful unfolding, of
100%.
my love story,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
So, girl, I tell you, I got to do a documentary. I really
Yeah.
do,
Don't just say it. Don't just,
right?
when you're ready for that book, I have that publishing company. Mama says, shout out Mama Says Publishing and our great team.
Mama
Yes.
said, baby, Mama said, I am so excited.
Yeah.
I
And
am so
we're
excited.
the whole point of that company was, I had my own books that I wanted to put out, and I didn't feel like a connection to anyone out there. I can't say I looked at every publishing company, but it just wasn't sitting right. I'm like, this work is divine. Like this can't just be, I can't just put this anywhere. And I thought,
Yes.
if mama, if most high is speaking through me and giving me these ideas for these books and to get these messages out there, I know there are other people who the same thing is happening to. And I'm gonna go on and I'm gonna create this publishing company so that I could get my stuff out there, but also to be able to help others get
Yes.
out there. And it's just very, very simple. And so, we even help with self-publishing and everything. So I'm like, as Source brings people around me and then they mention, I think I want to write a book. I'm like, hey, this is because I know this is, I don't have to go out there like searching, looking, begging people. It's not about that. I actually
Yes.
only take specific people because the goal of the company is very specific to get the voice of mama out there. So whether your book is a poetry book, a poem, sorry, an art book, like I
Yeah.
have another book coming out and it's a collection of my paintings, my paintings and my poetry, literally.
Okay. Okay.
We're gonna have, because a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Of
And
course.
we already know that when we get visions or ideas to paint certain things, to put them together in whichever way, multimedia, doesn't matter, it's already a message that the divine, the higher self, is bringing through us, not just for us, but for others who will look at it. So, you know,
Absolutely.
how it works. I do not, when I leave this realm, I am leaving empty. Every book, every painting, every song, I want it all that love has to be here. I want to leave empty. Honestly, that's my new thing. It's like there's I just want to leave empty. I don't want to go back with anything that I had to do undone. Anything I had to.
Exactly.
Yes.
I say that as I want to graduate with A plus, please.
A plus. Well done. You want to hear that? Well done.
Right?
Yeah. Good.
I truly do.
Me too.
So, can I take a moment to share a piece
A
with
hundred.
you?
This is go for it. You know what? Share the piece, and after you share the piece, obviously share a little bit about the piece if you feel to, and then I want you to let us know how we can get in touch with you, and let us know how we can get in touch with you and what you're available to do. Like, do you do if can someone have you come and because here's the thing, we talk so much about your artwork, but your spoken word. I remember the first time your voice is so powerful. And I always knew whatever, yes, you're an amazing visual artist, but I know that some way, somehow your voice has to be in a line there because you have when you get into it and you start speaking and you start delivering, it's just your voice is anyone could feel it. Anyone could feel it. You know what I mean? So you don't have ears and you could feel your voice. You understand? You don't
Thanks,
need
sis.
to be have hearing to feel it, to feel that vibration. And so when you say that you're going to be doing what you're about to do, I know that it is in total alignment. It is
Yes.
blessed work. It is so blessed. So share all of yourself with us, you know?
Yes.
I
Yes.
want to
So
hear this.
I'm like I was saying, there's a lot of the sculptures that I've now coupled them with spoken word pieces to really assist people in this journey of duality and looking to do that
Yeah,
self-love and shadow work being the new self-love.
yeah, yeah.
So I have a sculpture, it's a work in progress.
Mhm.
Um, and it speaks on the surrender and
Mhm.
shed. It's
Yes.
a piece that really helped with my healing
Mhm.
when a relationship of mine was ending,
Mhm.
ended 20 years of marriage.
Wow.
And that's a long time to
That's a
be
long
with
time.
somebody.
Of course.
It's a long time to be with somebody, but I'm ending it with full love
Yeah.
and full gratitude
Mm.
for 20 beautiful years.
Mm.
I think you have to know when it's time to shed,
Mhm.
when it's time, when something no longer is serving you and your
Mhm.
highest good.
Yeah.
When it's starting to make you feel very small and it's dimming your light.
Yes.
So this piece is a piece that I wrote and a sculpture piece that I've created um, that is very near and dear to my heart. And it's about letting go of that uh, skin. So it's called Symphony of Surrender. In the dance of shadows and light's embrace, life's journey moves through every space. Contrasts emerge like night and day, teaching lessons in their own way. With every twist, with every turn, in the heart of change, we learn to surrender and shed, to let things be, is the key to finding true harmony. Focused on my choices, discovering what my voice is,
Mhm.
attuning to the sound, finding solace on my ground. Life's symphony plays with many notes. Melodies rise and softly float. Each chord a story, each rhythm a guide in this massive orchestra where I reside. Tune in, tuning in me, an artwork so divine, aligning with the essence, truly mine. I offer a vibration, pure and free, reflecting the law of attraction, reflecting the law of correspondence in me. Focused on my choices, discovering what my voice is, attuning to the sound, finding solace on my ground. Inner work, the silent tune under the sun and the waxing moon. In the quiet moments, I realign, co-creating a symphony right on time. Notes of joy, chords of pain. Together they form life's refrain. I am the tuner, the one who decides
Yeah.
the harmony in this moment, in this moment, where my truth resides. Focused on my choices, discovering what my voice is, attuning to the sound, finding solace on my ground. Surrender to the contrasts. Let them flow. In the ebb and the tide, I glow,
Mm,
I grow.
mm,
Finding peace in the chaos, strength in the calm. In life's grand production, my art is a healing balm.
Hey, what?
My vibration, my authentic song, echoes the truth where I belong.
That's right.
I belong.
Mhm.
I belong.
Mm.
In this symphony of surrender, I find a melody of harmony, feeling steady on my grind,
Mm.
focused on my choices, discovering what my voice is, attuning to the sound, finding solace on my ground. In the art of finding harmony, I see a reflection of my inner symphony.
Mhm.
With each note I play, I create a life of beauty, my chosen fate. Focused on my choices, discovering what my voice is, attuning to the sound, finding solace on my ground.
Mm,
And that's it, my love.
mm. That pause, you gotta wait after. That's not it. There's still the silence. Silence. The silence after. Oh my gosh. You see, I know anybody watching this is gonna be like, okay, Yan's not a liar. This woman, whoever she is, she cannot just, yeah, you cannot. And you know, the thing is, your voice matches your artwork. You see what I'm saying? It's like two hands, like your voice just matches it. It just absolutely matches it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Your voice is so, when I hear your voice, it reminds me of like Maya Angelou, you know? Like seriously. Like
So recently this summer, I did a commercial for the NIA Center in
mm,
North York. I
mm,
did their commercial for their center. And at the broadcasting place, they all were like, listen, you're just giving us
My
Maya Angelou
a
vibes.
hundred percent, a
But
hundred.
I'll tell you, she's one of the ancestors that I call upon when I'm
Mm.
writing.
Oh, you
So to
see,
hear you
I'm
say
telling you,
that,
I'm telling you, yeah,
and hear it for the second time,
it's fact.
it's a beautiful confirmation that when you call in the ancestors to assist you
Yeah.
with your greatness,
Right.
it's just so thank you for the confirmation. Thank you for
Yeah.
that.
You are so, I mean, I'm sure anyone watching this, feel free to, if you don't do anything at all, just feel free to say like, yes, definitely giving Maya vibes. Like, because I know it's not only me hearing it, you're talking. And the thing about it is that it's not, see, it's not about that you sound like her. It's the spirit. You understand what I'm saying? It's the
And I
spirit.
absolutely do.
Yeah,
And
it's the spirit.
she's my go-to.
Mhm.
Her work for me resonates in me.
So
So
deep. So that's why you're just
I'm
allowing it to just, a lot of
just
people who are singers, great singers, you ask them, who do you listen to? Who did you listen to? And then they always have, Michael Jackson or this or that. Like, and you
mhm,
watch these certain people, it's not necessarily that, of course, you have people who just are like, they just mimic people, right? But then you have
mhm.
other people who they are drawn to the person because that person is a mirror of
Yeah.
what is inside of them. So when they watch that person, it's like, they say you should have a role model, right? It's the same thing that parents should be for their children, where you can, and not just, sometimes it's not in your parent, it will be an uncle, an aunt, the neighbor, the
Hmm.
teacher. You
Hmm.
find a person who, when you look at them, you can hear a part of yourself,
Yes,
which is why
yes.
you're so attracted to them, because there is a resonating thing. It's the same reason why we avoid certain people. We avoid certain people because
Mhm.
that person is actually being a mirror and showing us a part of ourselves that we don't like. It works
Yes,
both
yes,
ways. It works both.
yes.
Whether we run to people or run away from people, it's what we see, we loved and went towards it, or we saw it, we didn't like it, and we're running from it. But it can only show us what is within ourselves. So
Exactly.
talking about Maya, you're drawn to her because there is so much within you
Yeah.
that he reflects. So it's easy, to be able to see, oh, wow, if she could be free to be herself, and I could see so much of me in her, I could also be free to be me. And so
Exactly.
you're just being you, you know what I mean?
Yes.
I love it. I love it. And I never got to meet her, but I feel like I'm getting to meet her through you. Do you see what I'm
Oh,
saying?
that's so beautiful. Thank
and
you.
and it's not to say that it's, and I really want to make this very clear, because it's not that the wonderful thing about you is that I could meet her through you, is that you are fully you. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Love that you are, there is no buddy like Donna-Lee, right?
Yes.
There's nobody like Donna-Lee, but Donna-Lee is made up of many. You see what I'm saying? When I say like
Yes.
we share so much, that's why you call her an ancestor, because
Yes.
we share that. We share, whether it's somebody being, related to you in a past life and you have a memory, or you share blood, you share ancestry. You get what I'm
Yes.
saying? But it's all there. It's all there within us. None of us, we are connected. We are, like you said, back to, and we could end it on that. There is source and we are fragments of source.
Fragment.
So
Yes.
at some point, you're going to find the puzzle piece that you're right beside. You're going to
Exactly.
find, you see what I'm saying? You're going to find, those people, and she's one of your people. She's one
She's
of the
one of my people,
that you
and
really
I'm
love.
tapping into
100%. I
that
love it.
frequency,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What her work resonated in me, I
Mm-hmm.
want my work to resonate like that
Yeah.
in people because of the honest place that it comes from. So it's with
Mm.
gratitude that I am so grateful that you see
Oh,
that
yes.
it's coming from that place of love,
Yes, 100%.
right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And greater things shall you do, my beloved sister. Greater things. Greater, greater things shall you do. Greater things.
So you
Mark.
can find me, the team, the gang here can find me on Instagram. I've got so much new work that my website is currently being worked on. But on Instagram, I go by Juna Vegas, which
Yes.
is JUNAVAGUS_art. And I go by that name because the Juna is a Sanskrit word that actually means victory or triumph over lower levels of consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Mm-hmm.
Vegas, VAGUS, is
Mm-hmm.
having the nerve, right?
Yes.
As we know, it's the vagus nerve that runs from the top of our head right down to the tip of our toe, is having the nerve to have this rare view of art
I love it.
and
I love
and
it.
and expressing myself from the inside
Mm.
out.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love
So
it.
Juna Vegas _art.
I will put it in the description below, so that anyone who, needs to find it after, they could easily find it. And anything else you have going, if you have any events, do you have any events or anything coming up for you for 2025? Do you have anything?
Right now I'm in a place of rebirth.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm working on some proposals. Right now I work with a lot of high schools in Peel, in the Peel region. Um, but I do private work on the side. I do private consultation. So if there was anybody who wanted a one-on-one, maybe they're working on their creative and they want more alignment with what it is that they do, and they'd like to use some of my techniques, and learn about how I use the aspects of numerology and how I, align with those signs and symbols of Most High. So I know when the cloud moves, I move. I am open and willing to share those stories. So I do take on clients from that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's like 1 hour, 2 hour consultations, and I'll take you through a process of self-discovery for higher self-love and
Mm-hmm.
connection.
Very wonderful. And they could contact you on Instagram. So
DM
yes, for
me.
every, okay,
Yeah,
DM you on. Perfect.
yeah.
Wonderful.
DM me on Instagram. Like me, DM me. Let's start a conversation. And we can move from there.
Perfect. Perfect. And we can look forward to your book 2025, right?
We absolutely can.
Okay.
We absolutely can. Taking back the cosmic night.
Okay,
And
absolutely
it really is this journey into self-love. So
wonderful.
looking
Wonderful.
forward to that. And the poem that I shared with you will be one of the featured works along with the sculpture.
And
So
so perfect. So
uh,
amazing. I'm just gonna tell you a few ending comments here. Well, Marianne, she said, this was a wonderful, this was wonderful hearing your love story, Donna-Lee. I have to go now, but good night, family. Yes,
beautiful.
and
Thank you so much, Marianne.
yes, and then there's lots of, oh wow, wow, amazing, all of those things. We have Milan. Hi, Milan, in the chat right now, also, and Dwayne was asking what's coming up for you, programs or events, which you talked about just now. And Milan, lots of claps. Someone was saying, my face, what was happening with my face? Oh, yeah, and your face is beautiful. Donna-Lee, you are glowing. I don't know, I probably was in a euphoric. So I love your voice.
Thank you.
I just take it all in. Okay, look, Milan is saying, uh, that was powerful. I felt the vibration of your voice in my chest,
I
right?
love that.
Yeah, you are so magical. And then definitely Maya vibes for sure. And then Dwayne says here, this has been so inspiring, inspiring to be in love with creating, inspiring to be myself to the fullest, just pure inspiration of love and joy and goodness and beauty. Taking back the cosmic night. I love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So thank you everyone who has tuned in. Thank
Yes.
you
Thank you
for
so much.
being the, thank you for sharing my beautiful friend.
Thank
With,
you.
thank you, Donna-Lee,
And I
for
look forward to coming for a visit in a couple weeks.
yes. Oh my gosh, we have great things planned. It's gonna be amazing.
Yes.
I'll find your book for you.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Definitely. So, you know what? This has been wonderful. Again, I will post your information in the description. Please reach out, even if it's just to reach out to her,
Yes.
whether it's
And
on
I'll
the.
give you my Etsy too.
Oh, yes, please.
Yes,
Okay, do you
Etsy
want
is
me to
Juna Vegas Art, but we'll put everything in the description
I will
down
put it
below.
all down. Yes, I'll put everything in the description. And you know where to reach me. Love story for yandia at gmail.com. If you would like to come on here and share your love story, your life story, your light story, however you want to look at it, we want to hear from you. We are not just put on this earth to be, solitary. We're here to love each other and to learn from each other and to grow together. So that being said, see you next Sunday at 7:30 p.m. for another love story. Have a great, strong.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.